Welcome to the Mindset Elevator, everybody. You are very smart, and they all know it. Okay, it's becoming common knowledge. It's becoming something that they all know, that they all could sense, that they all could see. And people are going to press you. People are going to test you. Going to test your intelligence. They're going to test what you know. They're going to test what you claim to be, who you claim to be, because your intelligence is off the ranks. Okay, you're functioning at such a high rate that people are going to want to debunk it. People are going to want to try to dismantle or dissect what you know because it's you just operate that high. Okay, so listen, you're very, very smart. It's going to be people who specifically want to undermine your intelligence. And they're going to want to do this because they don't want to come to terms with the fact that you do know a lot, right? You're just the type of person that knows a lot. You've come into a lot of knowledge. It seems like even knowledge that you shouldn't have or you ought to not have, maybe because of your age or your demographic or where you come from or how you move or how you appear, to where your intelligence, what you know, doesn't match what they see, all right? But people are starting to come to terms with the fact that you have a high level of intelligence. You are very, very smart. They're all starting to know this. They're all getting the gist, okay? Maybe it's the what you share, the information that you share, right? That can be showing people that, hey, like I didn't know he knew that, or that's kind of deep. Like, how did you get into this information? Or you don't look like somebody who would know this. So how do you know this, right? The fact that you're able to go deeper will scare a lot of people, and it will shock people who think that maybe you're more surface level and you didn't know all that much. But you do, all right? And so you're very, very smart, and they're all becoming very aware of this. Perhaps you're being targeted and tested at the workplace. This is a very prevalent location, a very prevalent place that you will be tested time and time again for your wits, for your mental stamina, for your intelligence, for what you know. You will be critiqued. You will be mocked because of how your mind operates. And the fact that you operate on a very high level. You learn very quickly. You catch on to concepts very quickly. Perhaps you have your own mind, right? Like you just have your own way of thinking, you have your own way of doing things that makes people at the workplace very vexed, okay? Because they're probably thinking to themselves, like, who do you think you actually are? And they'll try to undermine your intelligence as you work day to day in your field. It could be everybody has a degree up in that place. It could be like that. Everybody has a degree. Everybody has a right to be there. They earn that. But they will target you specifically and try to make it seem like, maybe you got your degree from some dude in the alleyway, like who let you in, right? Because it's also your aura, and it's also how you come across, how you maybe love what you actually do. It's a lot of people who have they look really good on paper, but they're not really good socially, or they don't treat people with respect, or they don't like people like that, or they don't really like what they do, but they had enough wits to do it on paper and to qualify that way. So perhaps you just meet all the criteria of what it means to be a good person, which seems to maybe enhance or reinforce how smart you actually are, right? And then when you start speaking and when you start teaching, sometimes you could be teaching and not being privy to it. You could be teaching people different concepts and not aware because you take a leadership role, maybe without being aware that you're doing that. And so that could shock people. People will be observing you from the sidelines, realizing like, wow, you are smart. Like you know a lot. This is deeper than just what you learned in a textbook. This is somebody who knows way more that a textbook never showed them. So details that a textbook or literature or just whatever other sources of information. You have deeper information. You have life lessons that probably taught you a lot of things. And it taught you how to see life from different angle points. And that enhanced your intelligence. And it's just becoming commonplace now where people are seeing that when they try to undermine your intelligence and they try to make it seem like you're not smart. No, they see that you're very smart. They see that you're smarter than a lot of people, but perhaps you keep it under wraps, or perhaps you don't talk about it too much, or you don't gloat, you don't act like that. So people think, oh, she's just average, he's an average dude. You know, maybe he knows a little bit here and there, nothing too special about him. But because you don't have to yell it from the mountaintops, right? Like you just play it cool. Then there's going to come a time where you're just being you and talking about different things. And folks are going to be like, what? Like, I didn't know that he knew these things. I didn't know that she was so deep into it. Or perhaps people don't know that you speak another language. Maybe you speak more than two. Maybe it could be things that, maybe once again, from who you are and where you come from, you should not know this information, or you should not be interested in this or so in depth with these details. You're very smart, very, very wise. Perhaps you just make very wise choices that shock people, right? Because it's almost like you're able to circumvent negative situations by using your brain, right? And by not being swayed by what the media tells you, not being swayed by what your family tells you, or for what people try to put on you, or different ideologies that could be forced upon you, right? It's like you use your own mind to come to your own conclusions. You do your own research, and you're able to just make the right choices. And that's very wise. Not every, like people know what they got to do, and they'll still, shy away from doing what's right because they don't want to use their brain. But you use your brain in all facets, and that's something that's heavily being noticed. Like, wow, she's really smart to have taken that route. He's really wise, for setting things up that way. How did he know that if he had set it up that way, that he would have been set for life? It's like that. It's not just book wise. It's not just textbooks and school and education. It's also about just knowing. It's also about perception. Just being able to think deeper, to think wiser. Like, let me grab that before I leave. You know what I mean? Knowing that you're never going to go to that place again. Let me grab this before I leave because I know I'm going to need that, right? It's like just knowing, being smart, thinking ahead. This is what using the mind is all about. It adds to your intelligence. It adds to your smartness, to you being crafty, to you being resourceful. It's all tied into your intelligence. And the fact that it's just kind of, it's on display now. It's being heavily noticed. So you could just be somebody who's very wise, all right? Very, very smart. And if there was ever anybody who was doubting you, you're going to have people doubting you regardless of what I detail in this video. It's going to be people, I'm telling you, you're going to be doubted no matter what by somebody. And, doubted that you even have that bright mind that you actually do. And it doesn't matter what you do. That's why you got to just keep doing what you do. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be somebody who looks at you and who hears you speak, who hears you direct, who hears you command respect, who hears you teach and do your best in your field, do your best, live life to the fullest. And they're not going to want to believe that you're actually a smart person. They're actually going to want to believe the other, the opposite of that, that you don't know nothing, that you're nothing, that you don't have any knowledge, that what you speak is nonsense, or what you talk about is just ridiculous. But it's because it's too deep for them to dissect. It's not the regular cookie cutter stuff that they are used to. You're not cookie cutter, and that's where you stand apart. And they're all starting to know this, that you stand out. You're not like all these other people out here. You stand out in every single way, especially when it comes up to here. Keep doing that. Thank you guys so much for supporting the Mindset Elevator. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and the premise. Let it be known if you agree with the premise of this video in the comments. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Stay up. See you guys soon.